jump into episode 13. And if you've guessed by the thumbnail, for you Disney fanatics out there, for you people who loved this show growing up, I know I kind of did just because it was so unique compared to all the other Disney TV shows that were floating around the early 2000s anyway. Life with Derek. Yeah, Life with Derek. One of those shows, man. One of those shows that you don't really know what's going on with the two main characters. We're gonna dive into that in a second. So yeah, it was a Family Channel sitcom, Canadian for you folks up there, which Disney allowed to pretty much acquire, which would be acquired by Disney as part of its early 2000s lineup of family-oriented programming. So Mickey Mouse, you know that Mickey, he's an opportunist. Anything he can put his grubby little rodent hands on, he'll grab, and sometimes we're all the better for it. It joined the ranks of Phil of the Future, That's So Raven, Even Stevens, and some other ones. Had a pretty good run though, debuting in 2005 and ending its final season in 2009. 4 great seasons of, well, stuff. And I mean that in a good way. It was funny, absurd, frustrating, and pretty tongue-in-cheek for a Disney show. It really was the oddball show of the bunch. But looking back at Life with Derek and rewatching some of the episodes, I came to a singular conclusion about this show's dynamic duo. Casey and Derek were terrible people. And let's get this straight, folks. This show is a lot of fun, but looking back at what these two did to each other and their blended family, so to speak, I can't see how they actually didn't push their respective parents to divorce each other. One of the best episodes to highlight just how crappy Casey and Derek are is season 3, episode 25's Things That Go Bump in the Night. All right, guys, it's time to play Life with Insufferable Canadian Kids. Let's begin. The episode begins with Casey and Derek having one of their spats during breakfast over who should have the car next. Derek gives out BS reasons as to why he has priority over Casey, while Casey tries to counter with her spiel about paying this and that and then turning to George for help in solving their dilemma. George, who is clearly about to go to work to provide for their ungrateful little asses, tells them they'll have to figure it out. He's tired of their bickering. Me too, George. I get you. Me too. Casey voices her disdain for the situation, and Derek counters with, well...
But give it back anyway.
Forget it! Derek, let go!
Pause off!
Now let's stop for a second here and realize what the hell they just did. George works at a law office, okay? He has to dress nice. He's got to look professional, and they just ruined that and potentially made him late to work. Do you know what the response is to his predicament? Laugh. They fucking laugh. 1 point for Casey, 1 point for Derek. After the always fun intro music,
A new school, a new house, so many changes it makes my head spin. Now I've got a brother who gets under my
George is scolding them and explaining why they're grounded. Casey's rebuttal, and let's take a listen, shall we?
Any timeouts?
We're not little kids. At least I'm not.
Casey, weren't you playing tug of war over a bowl?
But Derek started it.
Look.
He started it. He ate my pizza on purpose.
They proceed to debate with George as to the proper punishment they should receive for their BS behavior, and he tells them they're grounded for the weekend. It turns out they both wanted to go to the same party and could have gone together in the car they fight over. Derek, Casey, you deserve that karma casserole. Eat it. We next see Edwin chatting it up with Lizzie about his new detective kit. Derek comes by and makes some asshole comment to his brother, so he's getting half a point. Derek, you're at 1.5. Casey, you're at 1.
And fingerprinting capabilities. It's cool, huh?
Oh, yeah. You could use it to solve the mystery of your geekdom.
We then are with Casey at school, where she's moaning and groaning to her best friend about her woes. She tells her she can't go to the party, and Emily can't believe that Casey could be grounded. You know, the same Casey who, despite being a stellar student, always happens to get mixed up in some BS because she can't seem to stay away from her stepbrother's drama because she's, I don't know, dramatic as well. Let's continue. The non-important party dude, something Burden, makes a quick appearance and the gal swooned. End scene. Now we're back with Lizzie and Edwin as he's testing out his CSI skills in the living room. Maybe he'll find some common sense in that house and give it to his brother and his stepsister. Am I right? No, he's just trying to figure out who left the TV on or something, some bullshit like that.
Suspects and nab our crook.
Why are you powdering the remote?
Trying to find out who left the TV on last night.
I did. Fell asleep watching hockey.
Dad, don't confess before we've collected the evidence.
Yeah, thanks a lot, George.
It was him. Let's get him, fellas.
So since Casey can't get out of her George Venturi enacted sentence of, oh my effing God, 2 whole days. 2 whole days. 2 whole days of being grounded, she tries to guilt trip her mom to side with her over her husband who rightfully grounded Casey. She's going behind her stepfather's back to get out of a well-deserved punishment, even though she knows she fucked up. Here you go, Casey McDonald, take a point. Casey later catches Derek on the phone planning some sneak out plan, and after being insulted, she wants in on the plan. So they proceed to conspire to sneak out.
I'm coming with you.
I never invited you. And there is no way a goody-goody like you could ever pull off something like this.
Pull what off? Come on, what is your plan?
My plan is to sneak out.
That's your plan?
You got a better plan?
No, but I'm great at planning. I love to plan. Oh, in fact, I've already got a plan.
Okay.
So George and Nora receive a surprise invite by Emily's parents for dinner, and Derek and Casey put their deceitful plan into action. They hop into their getaway car and are almost scot-free when... Oh!
I thought Dad took his car.
To drive next door?
Casey can't believe Derek hit George's new car, and Derek says he was distracted by safety tips?
Oh, maybe if you hadn't been shouting safety tips at me.
They jump back into we're grounded and here mode, and George buys it after some initial suspicion. The man even goes into, I'm sorry for being a little too harsh, even though he was right in punishing them. He was on dad mode and he was right. Derek does that, oof, close one face, and we jump into the next morning when Derek tells Casey he ended up going to the party after all. See, the bad guys do win, folks. Casey questions his sanity as well as his new plan to fix the car before 4 or something like that. Cutting it kind of close there. Auto body shops typically, I think the guys go home at like 5 or 6 or something, maybe later, I don't know. And she starts to show some guilt, but not enough to actually confess. We'll get to that in a moment, folks. They head downstairs, and Nora is also feeling some good times feelings about being too harsh, so the woman wants to make them their favorite breakfast. Casey's getting full-on guilt seeping into her bones, while Derek wants some bacon and cheese and whatever the hell Casey would have had. But George is noticing their fridge is looking a little bare.
Take us all out for breakfast.
No. Actually, I am hungry, but just for cereal.
Casey and Derek obviously don't want him to take them out in his new car, so she says she wants some cereal. Honey Nut Cheerios, Fruit Loops, Frosted Flakes, we don't know what the hell she wanted to pick. She never said. Probably some Frosted Ontarios or something like that, with a little hockey marshmallow pucks. George then gets a call from his law office about working on some trial, and the man rushes off to work. Later, he returns clearly distressed about damage to the car. Ha! It's over, Casey and Derek. The jig is up. You're in it now, you little bastards. But no. The man has better convictions than to blame the kids and thinks he was hit by somebody in the parking lot at his law firm. One of the kids even suggests he should be sure about what happened since he has prior offenses. What? So they're basically throwing him under the bus for being a bad driver, so apparently it was his fault regardless of whatever the world may throw at him in the traffic violation camp. So apparently no other person on the road can ever hit George Venturi, and they can never get in a car accident with him because basically he has a history getting into car accidents, so therefore, yeah. Now, seeing as both Casey and Derek know that they did it, and they can clearly see George stressing over the entire situation, they both choose not to tell George at the moment they were responsible. So even Casey with their whole, oh, maybe we should confess, bullshit. Yeah, let's give him some points, guys. Edwin does some sleuthing about what happened to the car despite Derek's threats. He calls a family meeting to disclose the results of his investigation. It sounds like he's figured it out. He hasn't. He hasn't, guys. He thinks it was raccoons. Before he reveals this, Casey actually confesses.
Someone's are?
It was us. Derek and I snuck out, and we accidentally hit your car. I'm so sorry.
What? Well, I thought that the raccoons who live in the rafters snuck down and fought over sandwiches, knocking a bike onto the car, but the whole "you did it" thing does make more sense.
Derek holds out for a second, making excuses before finally admitting his guilt. Let's tally up the points here, guys. Let's look at the score. Derek, 4.5. Casey, 4. Derek earns a point for trying to die on his Custer Hill of deceit, while Casey spares herself another jerk point. But wait, there's more. George and Nora, clearly disappointed, dish out some new punishments. And let's hear this, guys. Derek can't drive and is grounded for 2 months, while Casey is grounded for 1 month. How's that fair? How that is fair is beyond me, since both of them A, defied their parents, and B, damaged George's car, and C, continued to lie to their parents about what happened. This makes them equals. It's like robbing a bank. You're involved in every step of the process, and just because you happen to go outside to get a smoke while the guy was holding somebody up at gunpoint in the bank, you get like 10 years shaved off your sentence. The episode concludes with Casey getting a week shaved off of her grounding because of good behavior. So see, she gets that McDonald privilege, while Derek tests out his odds of sneaking out by seeing if George falls for some Alcatraz breakout gag bullshit. And that's pretty much it.
Ooh, that really burns me. Ow!
Hi, Dad.
What are you doing?
I just wanted to see what would happen if I tried to sneak out again, and judging from your reaction, so not worth it.
I was going to give both of these guys one more point, but I found myself scratching my chin. Who really learned their lesson here? Who deserved this last point of shame that I have sitting in my pocket here, burning a hole in my pocket? I'm about to pull out this point of shame, folks. Remember, kiddos, the more points you get, the more terrible a person you were in this game. Derek edged out over Casey, but is that really the case? Is that really the case? We all know Derek is a self-admitted jerk with little to no concern for rules. Does that absolve him of his record here on merits of that's just how he is? Hell no. Of course, but what it does give him is a little shield of protection when comparing him to an even worse villain. The villain of self-perceived altruism. Casey is that villain. By the end of the episode, Casey jumps from argumentative to rebellious to deceitful to even more deceitful to finally confessing upon discovery of the aforementioned guilt. However, she gets a less severe punishment and actually gets a helping of favoritism by her mom for knitting? Did she actually learn her lesson, or did she actually discover that no matter how terrible she can be in any situation, she'll always have Derek's stupidity to spare her from her conscience that she can be as horrible as a person as he is? And for that, Casey McDonald, you get one more point of shame. Again, thank you for joining me here on Unhinged with Kiriakos Vilchez. Much love, much appreciation. And as always, see you here next time on